Hi there, I'm Max with Family Piano Co. and this instrument that I'm playing right now is, in my opinion, one of the best digital pianos, if not the best digital piano on the market today, the Kawai CA99, the Concert Artist 99. And I firmly believe that if you are looking for a digital piano, you enjoy all the characteristics, the features that a digital piano has to offer, but you want a high-performing instrument, something you're gonna get a lot of educational value from, as well as just a lot of fun playing on, the CA99 is gonna be the digital for you. And I wanna show not all of the features, it would be a very long video, but a good summary of the major features of this piano and just why it's such a spectacular instrument. So we're going to start by taking a look. Of course, the two most important things in a digital piano is going to be the touch and the sound. And our touch is created by this grand feel action. Something you might note here, these are going to be full-length wooden keys. And not just the white keys are wooden. On some digital pianos, it will just be the white keys. This has the black key as well. And this texture, this key top, this is going to be the ivory touch key top. It absorbs moisture from your fingers, provides excellent grip. Really just an extraordinarily good feeling key top. It feels luxurious. And then of course, another really big feature of this instrument is going to be right in the back here. We have our soundboard. Now they actually run two transducers through the soundboard here. The soundboard acts as the speaker, and it is a real solid spruce soundboard, just like you would find on an acoustic piano. It serves the same job as an acoustic piano. The only difference is instead of real hammers hitting real strings and then that sound coming through the soundboard, it's going to be the speakers resonating through the soundboard. Now another thing on the top here, it kind of acts as our sound bar. One cool feature is the sound will track along the keyboard as you play. So when you're playing notes down here, you'll hear the sound coming from this region of the speakers. You play up here, the sound is coming from this area of the speaker. So it provides a really good perceptive effect. As you're sitting playing, your sound is stretching out in front of you, just like from an acoustic piano, from a grand piano, from here to here. You can hear your sounds individually. Now, inside, what really makes this piano so magical is going to be the sound system. Very complicated computer system. This uses both rendering, or as we call it, modeling, and also sampling as well. It uses Harmonic Imaging XL, a very advanced sound processing technology. And essentially, you're going to have piano sounds and all your other instrument sounds. Now the piano sounds, these are the modeled ones, and essentially I'm not a sound engineer, but the best way to think of it is rendering recreates your sounds. As it basically, if sampling is you're recording individual notes, a plethora of times with many different mics and really getting the character of each note, but with rendering it takes it a step further, and it basically creates these piano sounds from scratch based off the very advanced computer systems that it has inside. So our main concert sound, this is going to be SKEX. This is a 9-foot Shigeru Kawai Grand. And look in here. So we can go ahead and change our rendering type. Think of this like voicing a piano. One click of the button essentially would take a technician about 2 hours of work, and depending where you live, what the market is, maybe $200. But let's say that was our classic sound you just heard. We could change between, say we want a romantic kind of sound, and I'm going to set up here, show you guys the difference. It's going to be like the piano just got revoiced. Very warm, very soulful, and just beautifully done. And as well, we can have more of a jazz sound. This is going to be just a little bit drier, how you want your jazz to sound, nice and clear. Just gorgeous. And we have several others. There's 10 rendering characters in total, so you can change your voicing just instantly. You can also go into virtual technician, and as well as I talked about, everything in here on an acoustic piano would be accomplishable to some degree depending on which parameter it is, but every single time you click, you're digitally recreating something that would take an acoustic piano technician a good amount of time and a good amount of money to change. You could change your touch curve, voicing, resonance depth, damper noise. There's quite a lot that you can do here. Now, another thing, you can change your ambiance as well. And this really changes the reverb. So if we were to go to, let's say, a large room, I'm going to record this with my hands here. Listen to the glow of the sound. It sounds very natural. All that sound is going through the soundboard in the back. The grand feel action feels amazing. You can just sink right into the keys. Very sensitive. Essentially, their goal is they want this to feel as much like a grand piano as possible. The difference in the action, you have both your virtual hammers or synthetic hammers, you can say, on top of the keys, not below the keys like you're going to find on a lot of actions. This contributes to the grand feel. You're going to have this rubber piece over here. We're going to engage it like this. This is what gives you let off. Let off is a tiny little notch that you feel when you put the piano about this far down, and it's a point of resistance that you have to break through very gently. And this is really helpful for high level playing, especially if you're playing pianissimo. This gives you a point of reference for, basically it's a fulcrum point for how close you are to playing the note. Helps you sync up your notes. For more advanced techniques, this is extremely valuable. And of course, that brings us to the pedals down here. One really nice thing with Kawai digital pianos, they give you these grand feel pedals, even from their more entry-level digitals all the way up to, this beautiful piano here, the CA99. And what that means, you can do, no pedal. You can do just a little bit of pedal here. Full pedal. In other words, this pedal supports advanced pedaling technique. So especially if you're working on high level pieces, you want something that supports you into advanced levels, you are going to need a pedal that can do this half pedaling. So looking over here, this is just the piano sound. You can transpose, you can change your tuning as well. And now we go into our sounds here, the non-piano sounds. Of course, we have a lot of piano sounds. Kawai's going to focus pretty extensively on piano, which makes sense. They are a piano company, only acoustic and only digital. That's all they make. And therefore, they're intensely interested in creating the very best, most accurate piano sounds for you. Many of them are going to be off their Shigeru Kawai Grands, which are just fantastic instruments. But I'm going to show you something a little different. We're gonna go into, let's play some 60s electric pianos. I'll show you what the option menu looks like here. So when you're in the sound mode, this is when you can do a split sound, a dual sound. The reverb settings are gonna be similar, but a little bit different. You have cathedral, for example, live hall. This is when you can turn on different effects. Classic tremolo, auto pan. And these are really fun to play around with. And as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you both the electric piano. I'm gonna cycle through a couple of different sounds here. I just wanna say this sound is being recorded from an external mic. So I wanted to do that as I think it's a really good equalizer. I could give you the inline audio, but I want it to be kind of as close as possible to if you were standing in the store next to me, not listening through this through headphones, which by the way, headphone compatible, USB compatible, mini in and out. Most of the, well, pretty much all of the core features these days that you would expect in a digital piano, this is going to give you. It also has a softball lid over here. Very cool. When it's closed, 9 out of 10 people visiting your home are going to think this is an acoustic piano until you open it up and they see that touch screen. They realize, okay, this is something really special. So 60s electric piano, here we go. Now, another that I want to show is going to be our organ sound. And I just think, so you get about 90 sounds. I think it might be 94 or so. And each one of them is just really beautifully done. Especially for me, I play organ as well. And I've struggled to find a digital piano whose organ sound I've really liked. The CA99. I think really gets it right. Kawai in general does a beautiful job with all their sounds. Full sound. You can still hear the sound in the air just lingering on. Then here we go. Of course, everyone wants to hear the harpsichord, the predecessor to the piano. And this just does a really beautiful job making it crisp, not making it sound electronic or electrified. It makes it sound pretty natural. When I lift up, there's going to be a cinching sound. Not sure if that made it onto the camera, but it's a very slight cinching sound that happens when you lift off the keys, and that bird bone that plucks the string in a harpsichord just hits the string really gently on the way back up. Beautiful. I'm really happy that that level of detail is put into this. And let me show a couple other sounds here. Now this one's kind of just fun. We have a marimba. Really cute. And then we're gonna have strings, of course. In my opinion, it's really hard to create a convincing electronic string sound. And just listen here. This is genuinely one of the most gorgeous string sounds I've ever heard that, is not, that's not acoustic. Really beautiful. There's a lot of other options for strings as well. I really like the slow strings, but sometimes you're going to want a faster attack on it. You can change that in the Virtual Technician tool. Now, choir as well, again, human voice, incredibly difficult to make a convincing digital representation of it. I think this is beautifully done. Imagine if you're in a church, and this has 100 watts, 54 by 54 watt speakers. It's very powerful. Right now I'm playing it at about 75% volume, not even the full volume. But if you're putting this in a church or in a large room, it's really going to fill it up. It's going to sound like a grand piano. Then let's see here. I'm going to do a new age pad and just show kind of a soft pad voice. Beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to layer our sounds here. So this is when you have one sound on top of the other. Sometimes it's called dual voice. And we just, on the control panel here, select dual. I'm going to turn on our concert hall reverb setting. And it gives you a balance. You can change the balance between these. My recommendation, unless you're experimenting, I would just leave it, because the original default balance is great. And here we go. This is going to be the Shigeru Kawai concert with slow strings. I left an effect down. That was actually the chorus effect. I'm going to play it briefly with that off, just so you get the original sound. From a pianist standpoint, I really love how easy it is to play lyrically legato on this piano. It is going to be lighter weight than your typical Kawai Grand Millennium 3 action. Part of that just has to do with the fact that it doesn't have a full action on top. It comes close. It comes really close. And honestly, if I have the CA99 at home, same action. When I practice on that and then I go practice on the Kawai Grands, it just takes a couple of seconds to get into the headgear of, okay, this is just slightly heavier, but otherwise the feel extraordinarily similar. And so I'm going to go ahead. We just did our dual sound, so now I want to split the sound. And this is where one side of the keyboard is going to play a different sound than the other side of the keyboard. We're going to have piano on top. We're going to have a wood bass with a ride on the bottom. And there we go. So you can also record yourself, play back. You can save that recording onto a USB. It's just right over here. Of course, headphones. Now the recording quality, unadulterated, meaning you don't have to touch that and edit it further. It sounds really good. It sounds almost like you paid someone to professionally mix your sound for you. So if you're making recordings and you want to post them on social media, you want it to be nice and easy to do, flash drive in, you save your recording to the flash drive into your computer, you have a usable file, could be WAV or MP3 that you upload raw, don't need to edit it. You can if you want, but honestly, it sounds amazing, and I would use that for professional purposes just fine. So to wrap it up, we do have some other features. It does have recordings from lesson books, so if you have children who are learning, if they are using Alfred books, it's going to have Alfred 1A, 1B. It also has Alfred for adults, the primer piano. It also has a lot of finger exercises, Czerny, Bergmüller, composers like that. It has demo songs that you can play, quite a few, and like really nice classical pieces. So overall, if you're, metronome as well, just saw that right here, we got a metronome. Bluetooth audio, so really cool, you can just Bluetooth stream a song. This works as a Bluetooth speaker, and you can play over it, and I can see that being useful for so many reasons. If you want to learn a Beatles song, for example, have it play through the speakers, you can play right along. If you're learning a piano concerto, have the orchestra sound right through the speakers and you play right along. No longer need to hire an accompanist to play with you on that. And honestly, this is just a digital piano that any high-level performer is really going to enjoy. And I think if you haven't considered a digital piano, they've gotten so much better in the last, let's say, 10, 20 years. It's now time to consider one. Thank you very much for watching.